Studycat.
So when you're trying to choose an app, guys, look for something that provides data on how long they've been on the app, how many activities do they have, how many words have they learned, things that give you insights into how they've done well on each word. You should know as a teacher, if my student's using an app, I want to know how well they've done on each individual item that they're learning. I also want the kids to get feedback. I want the kids to know if they're doing well or they have to work harder. And what that means is that we can see not just what a student did on an app, but we can see how they did it and how well they performed while they were doing it. Here's a little graph for you, okay? I like graphs. We're going to decide who needs help. So on this axis, we have the average score of the homework on the app. This is the average score on the left axis. On the bottom, we have the number of times they played activities, the number of times. So obviously, if we look here, these students, they got really good scores but didn't play much. So what do you think that means? Does it mean they're in the right level? Maybe it's too easy for them. These guys, they didn't get very good scores, but they still haven't played much. So what can I tell them to do? Go back and try and play some more. You probably start to realize that these are the kids that don't enjoy the class as much. Then we have these kids. These guys played a lot and they also got high scores. So these guys are really motivated. They've got that perseverance and grit that we talk about in social emotional learning. These are your gold students that you really want to use as an example. And then last, you've got these guys who didn't get very good scores and also played a lot. So you know now that these guys they're quite engaged. They're not lazy. They keep trying to go back and play. And that's really good to know, right? We want to know when kids are really trying, but they're still struggling with the language. So it means that you get these insights and you're not even in the classroom with them. They could be at home doing that. So my top tips for when you're choosing apps for your classrooms and for moving forward in the future is, my top tips are limit the passive filler activities. If you see lots of videos and lots of passive activities, maybe don't choose that app. Make sure there's a link between the home and school, things like Studycat, things like Reading A to Z, these types of apps where they have that nice link. Make sure that they provide learning insights. They don't just tell you what the kid did, they tell you how they did it. And make sure that they present language in context. If it's just pictures and you hit a button, maybe that's not as exciting. If it's based around a story, maybe that's better.
Studycat.